that the...
Yeah, of course. The DoorDash.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome to episode 215 of the Watchin It podcast. I'm your host, Donnell, and with me, as always, is Robert. On today's show, sorry, still sidetracked by spider thorax.
Yeah.
Anyways, on today's show, Robert, cops, administrators, and spiders, and Donnell thinks this is all the same show. This is literally all the same show. A little bit of news and The Boys episode 4. I usually would throw in introducing us after this, but we already did it. So Robert,
The Lander goes home.
the Lander goes home.
Yeah. Homelander.
Oh yeah.
Or the bad room.
The bad room.
The bad room.
The bad
Ooh.
room. This is a good season so far.
It is. A
This
lot
is
of
a good
people are
season.
trashing it though.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I've been
I mean,
like,
look, I get where they're coming from. They're saying it's bad writing because they're and I think it is bad. I think it's lazy writing because they're just
yeah.
let's just look at the last 4 years of MAGA
So that
and
part,
just copy what they've been
Yes.
saying. Like that's just
that
and
part,
they kind of did that last season.
yeah,
too.
with the storyline, they're way more like last season. It was like
It's well
tongue
written,
in.
but
Last
they
season
didn't
was
have to come up
tongue in
with
cheek
anything.
doing it. This season they're just blatant. Like here it is.
Yep.
But outside of that part, because no, I will agree. And someone like, come on, folks. But outside of that part, like just the actual writing with the characters and some of the storylines that are not, or even if it's involving that, just like I mean, we're gonna get to this, but just watching Starlight, freaking
Yeah.
like yeah. Anyway.
Oh, I like the Starlight character. this
Let's
season, for sure.
let's dive into some anime, Robert, because of course.
First, Donnell, I just got to ask, get it out of the way. It's been a little bit since I got to ask. Have you watched Amadeus yet?
No,
I know I throw a lot of stuff at you.
I know.
There's a lot of stuff on
I
the
know.
list. There's some
I-
big things on the list, like Supernatural.
I was about to say I did watch the first episode of Supernatural.
Fuck yeah.
I'll give you that
Yeah.
one. I did.
Now again, half of the first season. Keep in mind that the show has like been over for 5 years,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it was 15. We're going 20 years
Yeah,
ago is
it's,
when that
it's
started.
20 years old,
and
yeah.
it's CW, so it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna take a minute to
Did
get
it
into.
end on CW? Or did it get moved to? Cause
I think it ended on CW.
okay.
Maybe it didn't. I don't remember.
Yeah. Because I just feel like
I wasn't watching it on CW.
Well, yeah.
That's for sure. Anyway.
Anyways.
Yes. 3 animes for you on my ever-growing list. Let's start out with some administration. I should start out with cops, but anyway. How the realist hero saved the kingdom.
Yes.
It's a little bit different.
It is.
It's an isekai. Guy gets summoned. He is
a kai if you don't die.
yes.
Okay.
It just
All
means
right.
another world.
Okay,
So technically,
okay,
Wizard
okay.
of Oz is isekai.
Okay. All
The
right.
Matrix is isekai.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I wasn't.
I mean,
sure.
isekai goes back 10,000 years.
Yeah.
It just only got like really big when Jobless Reincarnation came out in like 2015 or 2007 or something.
Yeah.
That was like kind of the big resurgence of the thing,
Okay.
which is an excellent anime that's got a new season out happening right now. Fantastic show.
All right.
High up on my list of must watch. If you're into isekai, it's a must watch isekai.
Yeah.
Really good. Anyway, realist hero. This is a college student who is studying civics and civil engineering and political science and all that stuff. He gets brought into the kingdom to be the hero. Normally in these things, you're going to get like some magic powers, you're going to go join the Adventurers Guild. They're going to send you to fight against the demon army,
Right.
and whatnot. You're going to get a sword or a shield or something, right? It's going to be
Yeah.
off the hook. It's going to be, right? They didn't summon this guy to go and fight for them. He's an exchange currency.
Yeah.
Because the country that summons him, they're like the only country that has the ability to summon a hero. But they're not on the border of the demon kingdom,
Yep.
right? And so they've got to pay tribute to the country that is fighting the demons. Like, hey, we're going to fight them. We're going to keep them out of your territory. You're going to stay peaceful away from the front lines. But you got to pay up.
Right.
You got to pay some taxes or something to help fund our military, all that stuff. This kingdom's not doing too well.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, well, we're just going to summon a hero and just give you to them in lieu of the money.
Right.
It's an option that we have in the contract or whatever. And he's like, well, I don't like that too much. Well, why don't you show me the books? And so he just goes to town looking at the finances of the kingdom and putting things right. in like a week they make him king.
Yeah, which is just fantastic.
And it's actually really interesting, like when you get towards the end of the show or the first season. I don't know if there's going to be more seasons. There's only one right now. It definitely leaves more open to it, but things that I've had to learn watching these animes is you got to enjoy the journey and realizing, like, if you really want to get into it, you're gonna have to go to a light novel or a manga. Because you might not get another season. You know, most of them don't.
I learned that from I can't remember what it is. Crap, it's a prison one, but I can't remember.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I got to figure out what it was called.
Anyways,
but yeah.
It's really interesting when you find out at the end of the first season why they make him king and all this stuff. It's actually very interesting, but it is great. A little too harem anime for me. He ends up with like 7 wives. Because that's just what the king just gets 7 wives, and he kind of just like collects those over time. It's not like sexual. It's not all, well, maybe a little bit here and there. But anyway, that's not a major focus. But, it's got some standard anime tropes in it and whatnot. But it's just kind of like administrator hero. And him kind of, there's like a book called like La Public or something like that basically this is how you rule a nation, that he has memorized the book, and he goes to war and all this stuff. And there's some really badass like top 10. There's a moment about middle way through where you're like, this is one of the greatest moments in anime history. Like it's got some stuff going for it for sure. But it's fun and it's different. Is basically like if you're like, oh, I've had too many swords and sorcery animes, let's do something different. This is that.
Nice. Yeah. I did enjoy the episode we watched.
Yep. All right, let's talk about Copcraft.
Okay, I'm very interested in this one.
This is a short anime. I'd call it a one-shot.
Okay.
It definitely could be open for a second season, but they really wrap up the one-shot story. It's only like 8 episodes, so it's kind of a quick watch.
Nice.
Which is non-standard for anime. Usually it's 13 to 26 episodes for a season. Sometimes they'll break the 26 episodes quote season up in 2 parts and release them in 2 different years. Copcraft is very Alien Nation.
Okay.
Basically, a portal opens up in the middle of the ocean. That's a portal to another planet, not another like world in like the multiverse or something like that. It's literally just an alien planet where there's a bunch of elves and fairies and stuff like that, and a whole bunch of them make it over to Earth. And it's the story of kind of this. It's very Vice. Like Vice cop show through and through. Like just a cantankerous old police chief and just an old kind of drunkard cop, and he gets an elf princess partner.
Okay.
Because they've got to go investigate these fairy kidnappings. And it is just fantastic. Car chases, seedy underworld. It does not go into a lot of the like tropes that you are normally like with anime. It's very kind of serious in a way. It does have some jokes here and there. It has a lot of jokes actually, but it's not like wacky. It's more serious, and more and darker for sure. But it's just really good. If you like a Vice cop drama, you're gonna like this.
Nice,
super fun. Lastly, more wacky one. But nonetheless, still pretty badass. By the way, Copcraft would be like on my list of must-watches for sure.
Yes.
So I'm a Spider, So What? This is about a entire classroom that teacher, kids, everything get transported to and reincarnated in another world. The manga is way better. I'll just say. I hear that the light novel is even better. But the cartoon is pretty good. The anime is pretty good. Most of them get reincarnated into like noble families. One of them gets reincarnated into a dragon.
Yeah.
Another one gets who's a man, gets reincarnated as a girl. But he's like still got the man brain. They still have all their memories and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, I'm gonna go to the women's bath, and they're like, but aren't you a guy? He's like, shut up. So he's kind of pervy in that way. But one of them, kind of like the emo loner girl in the class, the one that goes and sits under the tree alone, during lunch hour, stuff like that. She gets reincarnated as a spider. in a dungeon, in a labyrinth dungeon that's like 100 levels deep.
Yeah.
Like a deadly place. Like no one's been to the bottom of this thing. She gets reincarnated at the bottom.
Okay.
And it's actually really interesting. I mean, I'll give it away, but the juxtaposition is that they're all reincarnated as babies. She's reincarnated as a baby spider.
Yeah.
But it kind of shows them grown up and talking about exploits of things going on in the labyrinth that she's responsible for. Because they're going into the labyrinth, like the higher levels.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And they're noticing like remnants of things that she's done because it's kind of got this future past thing because it's following her entire timeline. But they're all grown up and just seeing things, remnants of things that she did in the past.
Yeah.
It's kind of very interesting the way I like it. A lot of people don't because they do it different in the manga and the light novel. Or I guess the way that I read it explained is that stuff is in the light novel, but not in the manga. And that's true. And then they tried to like shoehorn that into the anime, and it didn't work out super well for people who have read the light novel.
Yeah.
And the manga, they're like, okay, the anime sucks, which is a lot of people say that for a lot of things. And I can agree for some of the mangas that I've read compared to like the animes. I'm like, oh, they could have really left this in, or why did they change that kind of thing?
I know, like when what is it? Whenever a movie or a book is made into a movie,
Oh, yeah.
and stuff, things are changed. But I will say it amazes how much they will change in an anime between the.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I guess the thing is like the way I always feel like when a book is made into a movie, it's like, oh, they changed this because there's no way to really do that in television and all stuff, and they change these things. But overall, it's like it's the same product. It's just maybe missing some features or has additional features. Where I've seen some animes and then read the manga, and it's like two different stories as a whole, and that's what always about. Like they'll be like, yeah, this is the anime for that manga. I'm like, there's barely other than the characters' names. There's barely anything in common. You literally change the plot. Like, yeah, but this is the anime for it. So yeah, that's one thing that always because I have done that. I've read a few mangas of animes I've watched, and I'm always like,
I'm following like 17 mangas right now. It's ridiculous. Oh my god. Anyway, so I'm a spider. So what? Main character, she's in this deadly place, trial by fire. She gets super strong, and I mean like godly strong.
Yeah.
Like I think in the I mean, it doesn't hurt to really say anything, but I think in the light novel, and they're sort of getting there in the manga's still running, she literally becomes a spider god. Like, ridiculously overpowered.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's kind of psychotic. She's like, oh, there's about to be a war that's going to happen. She kind of gets out of the labyrinth and she's tooling around. She's saving some people here and there. And she's like, well, if I do this, and that's going to stop the war. But humans give me the most experience points. So if there's a war, I can really go ham on like an entire army and get a bunch of experience. She goes all in. She's like, I am a spider now. I am a spider monster. I am no longer human. So, and it is, and it's really funny.
Yeah.
Very comical.
Yeah.
Like the character that's going on. It really gets into some weird depth stuff where like she has a lot of conversations with the gods that kind of run the show on the back end, and like were the ones responsible for reincarnating this whole class of people and stuff like that. Anyway, it's really fun.
Nice.
Anime, like I said, anime is not the greatest, but yeah.
Nice. Real quick, the anime I was talking about that I have to read the manga to get the full story is a Dead Man's Wonderland.
That sounds familiar.
It's an interesting one. I can't. It's been a while since I watched it, but I do know it did intrigue me when I watched it, and I watched the whole first season. I was like, I need more of this, and then there's like no second season. And I looked it up, like no second season ever coming, and that first season ends like this one was intentional to be more because the first.
I
season
have absolutely seen this and
on a cliffhanger.
Don't remember enjoying it all that much.
Yeah,
so maybe that's because the manga's better.
Yeah. The manga is better because that's actually one of the ones that I watched and then read the manga, and I was like, this manga is better, and then that's the only way you're going to get the full story anyways is if you read the manga. So I would recommend if you're interested in it, don't even bother with anime.
So Donnell, tell me about the show's sameness.
Well, so as always, I mean, I if you've been a fan of the podcast, I I watch like MasterChef and Hell's
Oh, they're
Kitchen,
all the
those
same show,
stuff.
Donnell.
But well, no. So here's the thing: is so Hell's Kitchen. It's not on right now, but Hell's Kitchen has been on for at least 20 something seasons. I think it's like 26, 27. And so as you go, like in the beginning,
How old
it was
was
just
Gordon Ramsay when it started?
oh, he was like you could see how much he's aged and stuff. But in the beginning, like I said, it was just a bunch of chefs come into the kitchen and they compete for a job for Gordon Ramsay. And then after probably the first 10 or so seasons, like we can't just do that. You can't do that forever. So
I can only hire so many people. In these
so
restaurants.
they started putting like gimmicks in it. Like once they had the old chefs versus the young chefs. So they had a bunch of older chefs like 40 plus, a bunch of young like 18. So they put these gimmicks in, and that works. But Gordon Ramsay has another show called Master Chef, and on Master Chef, it's home cooks from across the USA come and compete to show who's the best home cook. Simple enough. They've gotten, it's not nearly as long as Hell's Kitchen, but they've gotten to the point where they're putting in gimmicks. But the problem is, and I guess you could say this about Hell's Kitchen, but it seems to stand out more in Hell's Kitchen than it does in Master Chef, is so they start putting in gimmicks. Like last season, they did by region. So they had the West Coast, the East Coast, the Midwest, and the South. And they compete against each other. But at the end of the day, Master Chef has always taken chefs from all over the United States. So I'm like, this isn't any different than any other Master Chef season. This season, they're doing generations. So they have millennials, they have Generation X, baby boomers, and Generation Z. Once again, I'm like, Master Chef has always taken people of all ages. They even pointed out a lot of the time. I mean, this time they have more younger people because they wanted the teams to be even. Well, you're not even, that's the thing is, you're not actually in teams. They're just taking a group from your generation. So there's more of them. But I just come to realize, like, the gimmicks don't work in Master Chef the same way they work in Hell's Kitchen. Because it's like, this is just a normal season. Like, they always have people from all different generations. They always have people from all over the country. So at the end of the day, it's like, no, you're pitching it as like, this is something new. It's like, it's not new. This ain't new. This is the exact same thing you did last season. You have the same type of people. So yeah,
now the question is, Donnell, could you compete?
No, not at all.
I don't think I could either.
Oh, no. Like, I think I'm a pretty good cook, but one is like, that I'm a pretty good cook when it comes to cooking things I know.
Yeah.
And then also I'm a pretty good cook when it comes to, hey, I can take as much time as I want. Because like sometimes sometimes I'm making a meal, whether it takes this long or not, I'll be making a meal and it'll be like 5 hours to make that one meal. And they're all the time like, you have 45 minutes. Like, I got what now? Yeah. And then also
I can make a steak.
There's plenty of times. And I know
mashed potatoes maybe.
Yeah. I know there's a lot. It's a reality TV show. Reality TV shows aren't real. So I know there's definitely some cuts and they have more time, but still, the thing is, there'll be plenty of times where they'll be like, we need you to cook I could make this because I've looked up the recipe, but let's just say I'd never heard of a beef Wellington. They'll be like, we need you to cook a beef Wellington. And then people are like, I've never even seen a beef Wellington. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to go figure it out. I'm like, no, I could never, like, even if you gave me a recipe right then, and then be like, now cook it. It's like, no,
beef Wellington is not something you can make in 50 minutes.
No, I would just use that as an example. But yeah, so no, I watch these shows, and I critique these people, but also I was like, well, why don't you? It's like, well, because I know I don't have the skill. I'm watching this idiot who went on the show thinking he did. Like, the things that always annoy me is on these shows, all of them do it, is people who don't give me whatever your choice in life. If you want to be a vegetarian, be a vegetarian. If you want to be a vegan, however you see it. But I'm like, but if you're going to be on a cooking show or just a chef in general, unless you're just like or like you want to be a famous or world renowned chef, I'm like, you can't. I'm sorry. Just like honestly, like also just like having a very picky palate. That's another reason why I never could be a high tier chef, because I do have a pickier palate of stuff I won't eat. But I'm like, if you want to be like, that's the thing is, you don't have that. If you want to be someone who's like, I am a top tier chef, you don't have the luxury of being vegetarian. I'm sorry. No, you don't. You need to be able to cook all sorts of stuff. Yeah. And same with it. You also have the luxury of being picky. Like I watch all the time on these shows, they will whip up a dish. I'm like, that sounds nasty. And Gordon Ramsay, them just dig on in because it's like, that's part of your job. And so I'm just like, yeah, I couldn't be that, because I'm just like, no, someone slides me a shrimp dish on one of these cooking shows, I'm a judge, like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not eating this.
No, they did it. They do like a yogurt or something for me. I'm like, I'm out. I'm done. You fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm just like, I will never be. It's not. I mean, like I said, it's not a dream of mine. Anyways, I like to cook, but I've never had any dreams of being some top level chef. But like, I also being realistic, like, oh, I'll never be. I never will. But anyways,
so excited for the Bear next season coming out this week.
Oh, dude, highest rated.
dropping it all at once.
Mhm.
Like, yeah.
Highest rated show on Disney Plus ever since they merged with Hulu. But I just think that's I mean, like I said, Disney has a bunch of
Yeah.
random stuff, but still, just think like it just instantly became the highest rated show on Disney Plus as soon as it came on. Anyways, got a little bit of news, kind of news. Well, for sure news, and then one thing that's kind of news. Yeah, first thing is we lost a great one this week. Donald Sutherland passed away. I had his age up here. Now I don't have it.
Old, 88 or something, right?
Yeah, 80 something. He was
88, yeah.
88. Yep. Passed. I mean, I'm not sure if he was living there at the time, but if he wasn't, I feel sorry that he passed away in Florida. Like, that's not where you want to go. Anyways, but yeah, we lost Donald Sutherland. He's been in a ton. I'll say the first thing that I recognized him from, but I've gone back and seen stuff before this. But the first thing I saw him was the Italian Job.
Okay.
That's when I was first introduced
I
to him.
don't know if I've ever originally seen the original Italian Job.
Well, he wasn't in the original one. He was in the remake.
Oh, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right. You're
yeah.
right. You're right. See,
I mean,
I go back
old.
further than
He's
that.
old enough to have been in the original Italian Job.
Oh, he's got a posthumous movie coming out too.
Mhm,
Interesting. I mean, my first one would definitely be MASH, the movie.
I've gone back and seen
because
MASH.
I grew up with old people, but I would say like my next one would be like Invasion of the Body Snatchers or something like that from like the 90s.
Yeah. Like I said, the Italian Job is where I first saw him, or first recognized him, and then I've seen him in a bunch since, both past and present.
Most people are going to know him from the Hunger Games.
Yeah, but I was about to say he was in the Hunger Games. I know a lot of people are going to know him from that. Strangely enough, he was in a music video back in the day, and he's also been in a video game for a 1993 CD-ROM game called Conspiracy.
Did you ever see the show Dirty Sexy Money?
Yes.
That was fantastic. That's a show that ended before its time.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
He was really good in that. That was just a good show all around.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know he was in Fool's Gold.
He was in a show called Moby Dick back in 2011. I was like, was that really about Moby Dick? Or did someone make? Yeah, yep, it was a show about Moby Dick. All right, well there you go. But anyways, yeah. Also, here's another thing: is I didn't know for the longest time that he was the father of Kiefer Sutherland. I mean, I know they had the same last name, but I just never connected the dots for the longest time that those two were related.
He was in Lord of War. He played Oliver Southern. Just the voice. That's funny.
But yeah, he was. He
was also in like The Right Stuff. No, not The Right Stuff. Space Cowboys.
Yep.
Yeah,
Space
that was a
Cowboys.
good one. He did a good role in that.
So I've seen him in a bunch before he was this, but I also say this about him. He's one of those actors who is like, I'm not saying he wasn't always great, but in my mind, he's been an old man actor for a majority of stuff, and he was one of the best old man actors. Like when you want a distinguished old man to play even a villain or just a wise dude, you'd call up Donald Sutherland and he would kill it. And yep.
Oh man, Outbreak.
Mm.
Oh yeah, he was good as like the evil general.
I have not watched Outbreak in a while.
Tell me you are the very best pilot in this man's army.
I'm gonna have to watch Outbreak again. It's been a while.
He was in the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yep.
He played the Watcher.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he is all over the place. JFK.
He has. I mean, he's one of the people that when you go onto their Wikipedia, you go to their filmography, and there's a link to another page because that's how much.
Well, what's interesting about him is like you go through his IMDb, and I'm used to seeing older actors that have just been old Hollywood and just done like 4 movies a year forever.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been in an overwhelming number of well-received things.
Yes.
Whereas like I'm used to seeing like, okay, maybe 1 in like 50. This is like, no, like every 2 or 3 years he did something really interesting.
Yeah.
What else? Well, I mean, he's 88.
Yeah. He lived.
He gave us his craft.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank him for it.
I think because like you were saying, a lot of well-received rewards and stuff. And I think it's just interesting that he has an Academy Award, but it's the Academy Honorary Award, and that's the only one. I was like, really?
Never even.
I just feel like with his
never even
pedigree and all that stuff, I just felt like he would have had one. Anyways, rest in peace, Donald Sutherland. Thank you for your work, and I'm gonna. I mean, you can still enjoy a lot of his work. He's been in a lot of movies. Go check it out. Go
Yeah,
check out.
not the Hunger Games though.
Yeah. And then our news is not really news, but just kind of interesting story I found. Actually talking about our boy Jensen Ackles.
Oh,
But not in relation to Supernatural, unfortunately. It's in relation to The Boys. And I saw one is it just amazes me. I mean, you see it with people have actually been talking about Chris Evans lately. You see it with any of the Marvel stars and stuff. And anybody you're just playing a role where you're got to be a jacked up dude. It's just the difference of their filming body and then they're just walking around body.
yeah.
Because he's doing an interview. It was him and the guy who plays Homelander and the guy who plays A-Train, and he was doing an interview, and they're talking about, he was just talking about like when he was getting ready to play Soldier Boy, and they were like, hey, we need you to put on about 60 pounds in 6 months. And just
of
the
muscle.
workout of muscle, workout, and they had all these photos of him, working out and him big and buff. And then in the interview, you're looking at him and was like, this dude is like skinny, skinny. And
I mean, he was pretty. He went straight from Supernatural, to The Boys, and he was pretty buff then. Too.
Yeah, but this is afterwards. After The Boys. And then it's funny because he's on there with Anthony Starr. That's his name, Homelander's actor. Anthony Starr also looks so small comparatively. But Anthony Starr he was talking about, like, yeah, so I did the thing. I show up on set, and I'm built. And Anthony Starr comes up to me, and he's in they're both sitting there. He's like, he's in better shape than he is now. But he looks at me and is like, dude, why didn't you just tell him to pad out your suit some more? It's just thought it was so funny. And he's just like, I was like, I could have done that. And he's like, yeah. He's like, that's what I do. And I just thought that was hilarious that Jen Ackles picked 6 months just like, I mean, I imagine he, no matter what, would have had to get in better shape. But still, just like, Anthony Starr just like, no, I don't get in Homelander shape.
I didn't realize he's been doing Batman for 3 years in a lot of stuff, in a lot of movies. That's crazy. I also didn't know that he shows up in The Winchesters. I gave up on that show after a couple episodes, and apparently there's 2 seasons, so maybe I need to go take a look at it again.
You're not gonna get me to watch that one, Robert. No.
Oh no, you're in it. You're in it. In a couple of months, Donnell, you're gonna be screaming about where's your Wayward Sister spinoff.
All right.
You're in it now.
Anyways, that's all I got. We're going to take ourselves a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get into episode 4 of The Boys. And we are back with The Boys, season 4, episode 4, Wisdom of the Ages.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. So this starts out as kind of panning over some note boards in a laboratory.
Yep.
We see if you pause it, you can see a letter, a memo that's like, hey, don't steal our intellectual property or we'll basically kill you, kind of stuff for Project Odessa. We don't know what that is. I tried looking it up. Nobody really knows what that is. Apparently that's not in the comic books or anything like that. So at first I thought it was like the virus thing that they're working on or something, but that's happening at the school at the Woods facility for those that
was
have seen
happening at
Gen
the
V.
Woods.
Yeah. It could have been moved. But right next to it, featured very prominently, is a news clipping titled "Nervous System Mystery Revealed." And I gotta know, like, I've seen these things before, and I usually pause to read like the news articles and stuff like that when something gets flashed on screen. And this is like in frame with the, and they pause on it for a couple of seconds, so that way you can kind of get the gist of the memo. And I'm like, what kind of AI hallucination shit is this? Yes. So this newspaper article they've clipped out and put on the board, Nervous System Mystery Revealed by Greg Gilmore. I'm going to read to you the first 2 paragraphs of this word for word.
All right.
This is not Robert having an aneurysm or anything. This is what it says in the article that they put on an Amazon Prime television show right next to a major plot element. Had men rose from down Lady Abel, its son, him farers, proceed 6 parlors, her say projection age announcing decisively men. Few are, sir, those green men timed down's widow chief. Prevails remainder, many propriety can and, I don't know why they put a period after, and stronger, unpacked, felicity, 2 of mistaken Fanny at wrong table, ye in.
I love
That's the most
ye.
that's the most coherent sentence there is. Fanny
Mhm.
at wrong table, the in. Right?
Yep.
Be on, easily cannot, innate, and lasted months on. What is that? What is happening? Every time I've ever
AI-generated
paused to
bullcrap.
read one of these like news articles that flashes on screen,
Mhm.
it's something.
It's something.
Somebody
Yeah.
wrote it. And this is like this is worse than like AI hallucination
Yeah.
stuff. Like I don't understand
That is bizarre.
what's happening here. And the weird odd spacings.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
though I have seen that before in news articles.
I like how the next one starts. Deferred and Felicity steeps Mister's ages.
Mrs. Ages.
Mrs. H.
Outweight. Opinions,
I'm like, is there a
learning,
code here
likewise
that I'm
daughter
missing?
now.
Is this like,
This
if
is-
you word jumble this, does it turn into like something?
This
They're
is like
we told you in episode 4 exactly what what was happening behind the scenes.
in episode 8, you're gonna be like, oh,
you just had to decode the nervous system mystery.
Yeah,
it's so bizarre.
That
so
is
bizarre.
So bizarre.
I'll have to take that picture and put it on our Instagram or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Watchin It podcast at Gmail. No, watchinitpod.com. There you can find links to our Instagram and social media. I don't know what we're all on now.
We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. I will never call it X. I don't give a rat's ass. And
we're not on the TikTok.
We're not on the TikTok.
Because that's going away. If it comes back, if it's not going away and at the end of the year, then maybe we'll think about it. But I don't know what we're gonna do on the TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple, honestly. We just put little clips. I guess so. If we find a funny line we had, bam, man, we're on the TikToks. There we go. Yeah. Anyways, so this episode starts out basically we're at the base, or where Homelander was raised, and I wrote this a little bit later, but all I got to say is no. If I was responsible for
I'm in the wind.
making the god creep being, and sure, they think he's loyal, but yeah, no. I'm on some next level deep cover.
Yeah.
Like I don't work for, or if I do work for Vault, I'm like 5 divisions transferred with a new name, I mean this Vault. Maybe they can give me a skin graft, so now I look Hispanic. I'm not working in the same place where we tortured this kid just in case he ever flips a screw.
Next to the oven.
The fact that all of them are still there, I'm like, nope. As soon as Homelander was released, I'd like to transfer out of this department and change my name and everything.
No, you burn the building to the ground.
Yeah. Honestly, I would never, if I'm working that program, I might not have to change my name because I would never have used my name to. I would have just been like Mr. Q. That'd be my name, Mr. Q. I'm just like the fact that these people are here. I'm just like, nope.
It's like he was just another everyday work product.
Exactly. I'm just like,
way.
no. You just tortured a god being for the majority of his childhood and then release him into the world, and you're just gonna wait around. Like I'm just like, you're just waiting around for him to show up. Then that's the whole plan.
So let's talk about just this whole Homelander story because it doesn't affect any of the other stories that are going on in this episode. So he goes there. Because in the last scene of the last episode, his like alternate personality, mirror personalities were like, "You got to go home," and stuff like that. And he does. He brings a nice little cake with him, which I thought was just I thought it was gonna be literal shit.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna feed them his shit or something. Like it was gonna be real dark. That was an actual
he brought him
regular
a fudgy.
cake.
He brought him a Fudgy the Well from Dairy Queen.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, Fudgy the Well.
No idea.
Yeah, I wrote that. I to this day I've never been able to figure out why Dairy Queen made Fudgy the Well. You can still get them though. You can go to Dairy Queen and order Fudgy the Well.
That's not something I'm gonna do.
You don't want a Fudgy the Well ice cream cake?
No.
Come on, man. Fudgy the Well. Come on.
That's weird.
It is weird. No, I've always thought it was very weird and bizarre. But he got one.
I would imagine that if you are at the drive-thru, you got to go in for that.
Yeah, you're walking in the door.
Yeah, if you order Fudgy the Whale, everyone in the kitchen hates you.
Yeah.
Or they just have them pre-made. They're in the
pre-made.
freezer,
They're
right?
pre-made.
Yeah, they're not making them on spot.
Yeah, they're not making them on spot, but I still think if you order a Fudgy, especially through the drive-thru, if you order a Fudgy the Well through the drive-thru, I feel like there's a panic button underneath the counter. Like, we got a whack job. We got a whack job.
Yeah. Oh, you just know too that now a lot of people are gonna go get one.
Oh yeah,
because of the boys.
Yeah.
Why is that not a promotional thing? Why is Dairy Queen not like plastered out to the walls in the yin yang
the
and the
boys
YouTube
stuff,
advertisements being like the boys special.
Yeah.
Get the chicken tenders and a Fudgy the Whale or something. I don't
Contenders
know.
and a Fudgy the Whale.
I don't know.
But yeah, no.
That's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, so Homelander's showing up, and I just like everyone's like nervous, but like you can tell, like Marty knew from the moment he showed up, like we're all dead. Like,
I mean, all of them kind of were pretty nervous.
Yeah, they're all pretty nervous. I just like.
By the way, he rolled up there in the most like upsetting fashion too. He like took out the guards and the cameras upstairs. Yeah. But by the way, where's the lot? This is the facility where you raised Homelander.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not call Vought.
No.
And
there should be.
And the guy with his little pea shooter is gonna stand in front of the elevator.
Yeah.
No, there's a button you press.
Exactly. I wrote that.
That
I was just
drops.
Like,
I mean, I don't know if it's gonna stop Homelander.
Yeah, like I said, it's probably the same result. But you're gonna try.
It's gonna drop a steel 16-inch thick door in front, or titanium or uranium or something in front of the elevator shaft. It's gonna shut down power to the elevator. It's gonna notify the authorities. Like, I mean, this is like emergency. This is where Project Odessa is happening. This is the depths. This is the bottom level of your clandestine facility where the V was made. Like, yeah.
Also, this is something I thought about. It's like, if ever there was, and I hope in real life we would do this way. If ever there was a program to make super beings, God tier super beings, my number one priority while figuring out the serum to make God tier super beings is to figure out the serum to kill God tier. Because I want to, if I am not going to be one of the God tier super beings, then I'm going to make damn sure I can exterminate them if they get out of control. So I'm just like, where's that? Where is the, compound Q that ends superheroes? Because I'm just like, no, you don't make people who, because how did Vought ever think they're going to stay in control?
How have the superheroes not already taken over?
Yeah.
There's thousands of them.
Exactly.
Why are they not in charge already?
Exactly.
Yeah, why is there civilian? I mean, this isn't like new. This has been around for like 80 years, 100 years or something. Like, this is, it doesn't make any sense. Also, this is how we get Star Trek. Right? Because you get World War III with the superhumans.
Yeah. Anyways, so Homelander's there. He's giving everybody cake. And then he starts talking about little waste can basketball. Little waste can basketball with his good old Frank.
Rip Frank.
Rip Frank.
I mean, look, these are all bad people.
Yeah. But I mean, I will say, now I gotta think.
There's better ways to go than this.
But out of the 3 deaths we see for these people, besides all the ones who died, which one would you pick?
Yeah, I'd probably pick the burning.
I feel like, I mean, it's gonna suck really bad.
For a few
seconds,
right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's gonna suck really bad, but it's also gonna be over.
Yeah.
Where
I mean, it went pretty fast. It was like 15 seconds or something like that. And I would imagine all your nerves are burnt and charred.
Yeah.
Within the first,
unlike
10,
Homelander,
10
your
seconds,
nerves would burn out. Like, that's one thing I was thinking about was Homelander being invulnerable. It's like how he's talking about he felt it. I'm like, in most of those cases, like they talk about 3rd-degree burns can sear off your nerve or will sear your nerves, and then you don't feel anything. Yeah. And so I'm just like, and for everybody, for most people, you're not feeling it for the end of your life. But definitely getting your dick shot off.
That's pretty bad.
Because if it wasn't for Barber showing up, he would have just let him bleed out. So that would take a while. And then I think Barber's is the worst.
See, this is like an early guy, right? This is one of the original guys.
Yeah.
He knows Homelander in and out.
Yeah.
He knows what a sadistic bastard he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I'm this guy, I'm just like, nah, you can kill me now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to take care of business.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have that in me because I'm not a freak.
Yeah.
And you're going to kill me anyway.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
So,
though I will say, on the other side of the coin, because we're talking about Marty now, who Homelander, he laughed at Homelander when he caught him jerking off. And so Homelander, to make amends, tells him to jerk off in front of everybody. And Marty hesitates. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm sorry. If I'm in this act, like you said, if I'm thinking like you are, that he's just going to kill me, which I rightly would. Mm-hmm. But if I am going to try anything because Marty at first tries to like talk his way out. I'm like, no. As soon as Homelander says jerk off, my pants are at my ankle, my dick is in my hand, and I'm giving it all I got. I'm not. There's no. You're not talking it out, and all it's really running the risk of is dying. So I'm just like, when Marty's like, come on, Homelander, I'm sorry. And I'm like, dude, drop the pants. Just whip it out. I don't know if that's gonna work, but I'm gonna give it a damn good shot.
I got other commentary, but I'm leaving this line of thought because Robert's head is going to weird places. Anyway, no. In all honesty, the second that Homelander walks through that door, I'm like, hey, security guard, give me that fucking gun.
Yeah. I mean,
and then I just blow my brains out.
If you're working, like I said, this is the top level or top secret of Vault. I'm like,
yeah.
I ain't got a cyanide pill. I feel like I should have a cyanide pill.
You got a cyanide tooth.
As soon as that, like you said, as soon as that door opens, Homeland's in there, I'm like, oh, time to die. I'm just popping the pill. I don't know, but
no, you've got a nuke encased in whatever that metal is that he can't see through.
Yeah,
like a mini nuke in that room.
Yep.
And you just press a button, and it's just like
vaporize
no more
all
Homelander.
And hope it takes Homelander.
Because I don't think Homelander could take a nuke.
Yeah. Like I said, 100%. Like I said, for this being such a deep cover job, the fact that that these people were still there for him to kill, and they didn't have way better security. Like I said, not that it would have worked, but at least try something, titanium doors, something. And the fact that they didn't have a oh shit plan also, where like, oh, everything goes to hell, cyanide pills or nukes, like all that makes no sense. I'm just like, all three of those things. I'm like, no, I feel like Homelander, if he wanted to kill the people who did this to him, he should have had, I mean, not that it would take him long. He is a hero and he can fly really fast, but still, he should have had to fly all over the world to find them. He should have been able to find them all still working down in the basement. I'm just like, no.
I like the Barbara character.
Yeah.
She did a good job in this role. Yeah. Just like, look, she's the one who knows.
Yeah.
She's like, this dude's going to kill me or he's not going to kill me.
Yeah.
She like the Edgar, whatever, the Salamanca guy. That's not the name. I don't know the name of the actor.
Gus.
I can't. He picked the wrong stage name. Okay, because I don't know it and I can't pronounce it, and so he's just Gus from Breaking Bad. He's a fantastic actor and I love him.
Yep.
But no, when he was just like, look, just laser me or shut the hell up. Like it's
I mean,
kill me now.
That's
I don't want to listen to this sniveling crap that you've been spewing at me for years. Yeah.
And Barbara. I mean, I do also like Barbara. Just also like everybody else. I mean, it's still. It's sensible. I'd be doing this too, but everyone else is sniveling while Marty's bleeding out. And Marty's like, just put him out of his misery. Yeah. And I'm just like, she knows what's up.
She's totally the mom. She's got the mom voice.
Yep.
Yeah.
But she has the worst death because I'm sorry, like just being basically you're just trapped in a room underground. No one's coming to save you, and you're just gonna starve out after.
There's ways you could kill yourself in that room.
Oh yeah, I guess.
I mean, that's what you do.
Yeah,
because he welds her in there. So. But it's interesting that she's like, oh well, the way that we controlled you is we gave you a psychological need to be loved.
Yeah,
and that's totally true in the character through and through. 100%. From the very beginning. Yeah,
100%. I was like, ooh, nice. I don't know if I'd be bragging about it to him, but nice.
Yeah.
Real quick though, I was gonna jump back to Frank right before he dies, and he's like, I was just doing my job. I'm like, dude, that has never been a good excuse ever. I was like, no one's ever gonna hear. I just do you're just doing your job. Oh, okay, cool. Like walk away. I was just like, that has never been an excuse. Yeah, I was like, that has never been a good.
It didn't work out for the people at Auschwitz. I'll just tell you that.
But yeah, basically, Homelander just needed to work out some past issues in a very, very aggressive way, and that's his story in this.
Let's talk about Huey's story here. This one also is kind of disconnected from the rest of the main plot.
Yep.
He kind of starts out with, he goes in and meets with A-Train.
Yeah.
He's like, I need some V for my dad.
Yeah, because he meets with his mom and doctor, and they basically tell him your dad's brain dead.
Yeah, and they pull the cords, but it's gonna take him like 2 days to starve to death. And I'm like, this is not okay.
That's the thing is,
you inject him with something.
That's what I was about to say. Is I've never even thought about that, but it's because like you hear about people like, we're gonna pull his feeding tube, and like when Huey says like, so you're just gonna starve him to death, I was like, that is that's what happens.
Yeah.
Like
when they
I
did
never
that,
even realized that.
To my mom, she like suffocated or something like that. Like she needed a breathing tube or something like that, and then. I don't know. I wasn't there, but they told me the story, which is a great thing to tell a child.
But yeah, he meets with A-Train, with Kimiko, and the whole time him and Kimiko are together, I'm just like, motherfuck you, Huey. If you are going to be going on solo excursion with Kimiko, learn some fucking sign language. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm pissed at except for Butcher, because it's Butcher. I know he never would take the time. But all the rest of the boys, I am pissed off at. 'Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
for fuck's sake, you've been living with her for how long? Working with her for how long?
Yeah.
And she still has to whip out her phone and tap out. Other than Frenchie, I'm just like,
It's
fuck
been at
you
least
guys.
I don't know the timeline, but a year.
It's been at least a year, but probably longer.
Yeah,
I think
he
probably
could have
longer.
learned
Learn some fucking sign
some
language.
very basic
Yeah.
words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just like, you
He
dick.
doesn't even need to learn how to do it. He just needs to learn how to read it.
Yeah, because he
Because
can
she
lip
can hear
read.
him.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just gotta like.
No, she can hear.
Oh yeah, she can hear.
She just doesn't know how
Learn
to
some
talk.
fucking
She just
sign
mutes.
language.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys, all of you. Huey, freaking Mother's Milk, and Starlight. All you guys fucking suck. Anyways.
Anyway, yeah, the rare Huey and Kamiko duo
Yep.
going out. I was like, oh, this is uncommon.
Yeah, I was like, this was uncommon. But we find out that it's because it's an unsanctioned mission.
Yep.
Because he wants some V. He got A-Train, and he tasked A-Train with getting him some, basically saying, I'll forgive you for killing my girlfriend if you help me save my father. Which I'm like, can you? I mean, Butcher answers this later, but I was like, can you take V as an adult? I thought.
You can, but there's a good chance you just explode.
Yeah.
That's kind of the trade off. Is you take it and just it's like grabbing the wand
Yeah.
in Bright. It's like it's either gonna work or it's
Here.
not. And it's a low possibility it's not gonna work if you're not a child or a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after meeting with A-Train, or during the meeting with A-Train, we get to see that someone has a gun on him. The whole time I was watching this, I was like, who right now could have a gun on them where this doesn't instantly out A-Train?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be Vought or something.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna draw this out and make it like a couple of
Mhm.
episodes before we found out who was
Yeah.
spying on
I
him.
will say that's one thing that this season, like every time there's been something that could be dragged out, they're like, nah. Like the Butcher thing with, or even like, even though I'm not a big thing, Frenchie's thing with Colin. Thought it was going to be like halfway through the season before we figured out why he couldn't be around Colin. Didn't like me, but nope. They just tell here it is. No mysteries at all. But yeah, so there's
I don't understand why they were there, shining light.
I guess maybe they just followed Kimiko. Like maybe they've been telling her. That's the only thing I could really think, because they were telling her looking for opportunity. But yeah, so they're attacked by shining light. Huey doesn't get shot. He trips over a forklift and breaks his ankle. I mean, they earlier in this season they are just like, and they had him sparring with Starlight, and like, boy, you need to up that. Like, you've been part of the boys for how long? You really should have some formal combat training, because he really needs to. I mean, he does do pretty well in his solo fight.
Yeah, a rare Huey kill.
Mm-hmm.
I love the office supply stuff. I
I
just
was
came
gonna
off.
say, when I watched it, I literally was thinking, I bet you this reminds Robert of that game.
Yeah, I just came off playing Abiotic Factor, where it's a survival game where you're trapped in an office building and you're making armor out of duct tape and magazines and all that. Yeah, and crossbows out of pens and rulers and things.
Yeah.
It's an awesome game, though it's not finished yet. Early access stuff, but yeah. I was like, yes,
Kimiko,
a shield made out of a filing cabinet and a sword made out of a paper cutter. Yeah.
Yep. And what is it? Splint made out of two rulers.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get a fight scene. We get to see that literally Kimiko's healing factor is just
Insane.
I
was not expecting her to get shot with a grenade launcher and cut in a spleen, like just guts everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Kimiko just gets exploded. But like we said, she comes on back, and has a moment with her. I mean, I guess it's not her sister, but someone she brought into the shining
someone
light.
she helped kidnap and enslave.
Yeah. So we know why they're not just like hashing things out. This isn't a happy reunion. But obviously Kimiko has had a change of heart, or just, feels bad for what she did beforehand. Really, we don't know fully what the shining light is,
Yeah, just a criminal gang.
Yeah, some criminal gang.
Yeah.
Like, but I just wonder, like, did they make Kimiko, or was she
I thought they did
beforehand?
give Kimiko V.
Maybe it was, yeah. But yeah, and then just to wrap up Huey's story, he meets with A-Train.
Well, let's talk about A-Train for a
Okay,
second.
yeah,
Because he has to go get the V,
Mm-hmm.
and he has to go get it from Homelander's apartment.
room, yeah.
Which I feel like that wouldn't just be in a drawer. That would be in like a locked cabinet or
Well,
something.
so here's what I was thinking originally is with Homeland, like he gets in there so easy. I mean, I know he's freaking A-Train, but so he gets in there so easily. No alarms are going off.
Yeah.
And he's able to snoop around. And at first, like, that doesn't make any sense. But then I started thinking about, like, no, Homelander sees him as the all-powerful God being.
Yeah.
That no one would betray him like that, who would know that stuff. So to me, I was like, actually, this makes perfect sense why he's like, why would I need security? Why
and
would
also
I
you had to get through a lot of security just to get to that elevator to get to the
but still,
the room.
like he just thinks everybody at Vault who could use that elevator and stuff could go up there is like, yeah, they wouldn't. They know they fear me. They wouldn't betray me. So at first I was like, this makes no sense that A-Train's just able to walk in here. But then I was like, actually, this makes perfect sense. He's so secure or like so into himself and who he believes he is that he's like, yeah, no one's a threat to me. So why would I need this stuff locked down? So it makes sense to me. I do like A-Train finding the jar of pubic hairs.
Yeah.
And then also I love when he opens the first drawer and there's a whole bunch of milk and he's like, what the fuck?
And then Ashley's there.
Ashley's there.
And I'm just like, so they obviously made some sort of deal.
Yeah.
That we're gonna find out about later.
What I like though,
I'm like, Homelander is gonna know they were both in there, and he's gonna know that a bottle exactly, and he's gonna know that a bottle of he's gonna know exactly where they were, where he was, and he's gonna know that a bottle of V is gone.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be questions.
Yeah.
This shit is not gonna go well in future episodes for A-Train.
Yeah.
Or Ashley for that matter.
Yeah. Though when they're comparing like A-Train stealing V, which is, you know, one of the most powerful, most dangerous, and also like most rare, like not rare, like exclusive things out there. And then Ashley dropped a log in his toilet.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, these are not equivalent crimes. Like, while I do think Homelander wouldn't be above killing Ashley for dropping a log in his toilet, if he prefaced it by outing A-Train, I feel like that'd be enough to keep him from killing her.
No, he's still gonna kill her.
Maybe. But yeah.
He's gonna force her to talk first. Then he's gonna just end it. Yeah.
But anyways, so A-Train gets the V. Him and Huey meet up, and Huey takes the V and forgives A-Train apparently. And then Homelander. This is where we get some revelation about Homelander, which we kind of see a little bit beforehand. Homelander shows up and basically tells Huey like it's ludicrous to try and heal his father with V because he tried to heal his cancer apparently with V. And stuff. And Huey
I think it worked. So we'll talk about Butcher in a second. But
I think it works too, especially since there's going to be another season. And I feel like Butcher right now seems to be on death's door. And so if he's going to be in season 5, which you can't have the boys without Butcher, if he's going to be in season 5, something has to happen.
Yeah.
But anyways, Huey actually ultimately listens to Butcher and decides not to dose his dad, but apparently his mom did the old bump and grab.
Yep.
And did it for him, which I'm like, how did she even know? I guess he saw him looking at it when she was coming to the room. I don't know. Because I was like, how did she even know he had it?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then
he left his coat. He might have like rummaged through his coat.
I didn't realize he left his coat.
Yeah. So yeah, the dad wakes up, and then that's kind of where the episode ends. I'm like, this is not gonna go well.
Oh yeah,
I don't think.
No.
I think he's gonna be like a brain dead soup. Like he's awake but incoherent with superpowers or something like that. Yeah. Or he's just gonna be unhappy that he has superpower. I don't know. I don't see this going.
No, I don't think this
going
ends well.
well.
I think by the end of the season, because I feel like either one way or what. I think by the end of the season, he's gonna be dead.
Like they're gonna Huey's gonna have to kill him. Maybe
that would be
a very boys thing, poetic thing to do.
Whew, yeah, that'd be heavy. All right, let's talk about the rest of the boys and Starlight. That's kind of the last storyline.
Well, one moment, let's touch on something. There's a commercial out of nowhere that talks about the V52 Expo, and I thought it was interesting that they had Sam and Kate, the Guardians of Godolphin from Gen V.
Yeah.
Anybody who hasn't seen Gen V should go check it out. They're starting to interweave some stuff in there with like Tech Night and whatnot. Yeah.
And if you were nervous about Gen V or just it didn't seem like it, give it a shot because I went into
it with a couple episodes. Yeah,
I went into it apprehensive, and by the end of it, I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is just more of the boys," which I'm always here for.
Well, we got like 2 stories. Let's talk about Butcher.
Okay.
So he's kind of got like a worm thing crawling inside of
Yeah.
him. I didn't know if this was like a hallucination, like a representation of something he's feeling, but this seems like maybe he's got a super worm in him that's giving
Maybe
him
a super
superpowers.
worm, or what my thought is like, because he's seeing his wife, and his wife is guilting him into saving Ryan, which I'm not saying he shouldn't do or not, but it seems pretty aggressive. And part of me wonders if this worm is like some sort of parasite that's taking on the form of his wife, or that's why he sees it as his wife.
Yeah.
But that's trying to influence his actions. I'm not sure if the worm also is where his powers are coming from or not. I mean, he did take some V, we find out, so I'm not sure if that's like if the worm came from the V, or if the worm is like separate from the V, or how that. I mean, I'm sure we'll find all this.
Well,
out,
I mean,
but
we at the end he's in a fight with Stretchy Priest guy,
Ezekiel,
and he blacks out when the
Yes.
worm crawls into his brain.
Yes.
And then all of a
And
sudden
then there's pieces of Ezekiel everywhere.
yeah, just destroyed.
Yeah.
And it's highly alluded to that Butcher did it.
Oh, it's 100%
Yeah.
Butcher did it. 100%. He says he doesn't have powers, but I'm like, you got some powers from that.
He doesn't. Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he's got an
Yeah.
alternate personality or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I am interested to see like what his power, because whatever his power was, I'm just like, what the hell did you do? Because one is so like he blacks out, but you do get a sound effect, and the sound effect sounded like some like messy sort of bite, and then you come back to Ezekiel just in pieces. So I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell happened? I'm sure we're gonna find out.
And he's obviously like not like just a monster because he gets Frenchie out of the trailer.
Yeah.
So I guess Starlight, Firecracker, that was
Yeah.
kind of the two characters that really interacted a lot
Mhm.
in this. Firecracker is setting up the Truth Bomb show,
Yeah.
which she's
Right
filming
across
right
the
across the
street.
street from the Starlight agency or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
I got it. So they see this is happening, and that they're going to, so he's going to put on this big show. And so Starlight goes back inside, and I was like, one thing is like, I know it's completely innocent, though I do have questions. But when Starlight's like, sneak the kids out the back, like that's not ever. When you're being accused by these people of doing stuff, the phrase "sneak the kids out the back" does not sound. But also, it's like, why are there kids here? Not because I know that her organization was helping kids, but I'm like, a man just walked, one of these people, in fact, just walked in here with a gun, threatening everybody and saying he's here to free the
why
kids.
don't you have security?
You should have security, or you need, like, I get you're here to help, but like you shut down this place for a little bit until you figure out how to probably, because I was like, why are there any kids in this building right now? There should not be any kids. You just literally almost had a psychopath, or you had a psychopath in here. But anyways,
I think it's funny that they're shooting this Truth Bomb thing like just on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And like there's no crowd or anything.
Yeah.
They're just out there and just
Well, a
random
crowd
people
did
walking
show
by.
up.
Well, I'm surprised that there wasn't like a crowd outside the Starlight like Institute. Or
Oh
whatever.
yeah. But anyway, so basically, C's gonna just be a Starlight tell all, and Butcher is like, "Why are you? Why does she hate you?" And Starlight, and this is where I think she was wrong. I thought what was gonna happen was that basically, they're gonna go to try and stop Firecracker from outing her, and then find out that truth about Starlight. Because I was just like, Starlight, don't lie. When she's like, I don't know, there's nothing. I was like, no, you know why. You talk to her. You know exactly why she hates you so much. But yes, basically Firecracker, I mean, to begin with, just starts going off about stupid made up rumor shit.
Yeah.
But keeps escalating. And even though the boys try to blackmail her because apparently she had sex with an underage kid, she just uses that to really amp up her whole persona.
I was like, that was a power move. She's like, I'm just gonna send the tweet.
Yeah, when she just like, why don't I do that for you? I was like, damn, woman. But she has a little bit brain power of her own. But then she just lets out that and especially to these right wing nutcases, this is the end all tell all. That Starlight had an abortion, and that pushes Starlight over the top. And I was just like, and we see this from Sage, and I actually really like the line. Because everyone is like, we already know it, but we can just tell Sage is just playing everybody.
Yeah.
Because earlier in the episode, when Sage is getting this set up, Firecracker's like, I thought you were a stuck-up bitch, but, you're great. And then she was like, how's that stuck-up bitch? Or Cracker. And I was just like, yeah, this she is like, she's just playing everybody. Even we'll talk about the deep in her in a second. But anyways,
So I want to mention, so Frenchie sneaks into Firecracker's trailer.
Yep.
He's trying to look for like evidence to, just whatever.
Yeah.
And he looks in her purse, and there is a bottle of a drug called Meta
I didn't. Yeah, I saw this. I didn't know if I had any reference.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna butcher this. Metoclopramide. Metoclopramide. Anyway, I looked it up. It is a common anti-nausea medication, which has many uses, but primarily for cancer patients to keep them from throwing up.
Interesting.
Yeah, so maybe Firecracker's got cancer of some sort.
Yeah.
Or maybe she knows somebody who has cancer and they're going to leverage that against her. Yeah.
But all goes according to Sister Sage's plan, because the ultimate goal was not just to out Starlight, but was to, basically destroy her whole movement, and successfully Starlight goes off the deep end. We get to see just how strong she is, and also get to see, everyone knows Homelander's like top of the food chain, probably then Soldier Boy, and then who knows when it goes. But we get to see that Starlight is definitely no lightweight, and compared to Firecracker, it's not even a contest.
Yeah. No, she could have killed
Starlight
Firecracker right there.
is destroying Firecracker, but it's all caught on video, which I'm just like, you played right into their hands. You played right into their hands. And the thing
all part of Sage's plan.
We don't see this fallout, but it's not going to be good when they find out exploded Ezekiel in Firecracker.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to tie that right into the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, things about to hit the fan.
And then we get a final end scene.
We got to figure out what that metal rod was used for. And it was not the octopus.
I thought it was the octopus. Octopus, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I was
cheated on, stuck in that closet.
I actually wrote that down earlier when he's like asking her out to lunch, or like we could get lunch before she says he discussed her. But when I was just like, poor octopus. It is like you're in this closet waiting for your man. Your man's out here with another woman.
Yep. No good.
But we learned that her power, not just besides just being incredibly smart, is her brain cannot be destroyed.
Yep, it will regenerate.
I
want to know how she found that out.
Yeah.
Did she just get, what's going on in her head that drives her so crazy? Because she said, it just keeps growing, too.
Yeah.
So maybe it just, it starts to expand beyond her head, and she just started doing this to relieve the pressure or something?
Well, my thought is because he kind of alludes to, and it's definitely where I see her and Homeland. I mean, maybe also on the other side of the coin, because he's so smart, she won't do this. But her and Homeland are eventually dividing, is just that she gets so annoyed with being superior to everyone. Like, she's just sick of being surrounded by idiots all the time, kind of like Homeland said earlier. And so my thought is the first time she was just trying to she was like, I'm done with, she just probably was just sick of being here. She's just like, being around all these idiots all the time is too much. And she's like, that's it, I'm ending it. And so my thought is she tried to kill herself. And then when she got back up, she's like, well,
possibly.
This is news. But as a hobby, and that because last episode I said, it's like, it seems so weird that she's watching this garbage TV.
Yeah.
And we find out as a relief from it all, since her brain can go back, she just lobotomizes herself.
Makes herself dumb.
Has a good old time being dumb.
Yeah, this is just a drug to her.
Yeah. My thing is, I don't know, because I mean, it's obviously she can do it to herself. Because
I don't know.
The first time, so it's like I get she obviously when she was dumb, she had a good time with the deep. So I'm not saying I don't get why she's having the deep over and they're gonna have a good time. I don't know why I would not try, especially when she's like, her brain's only that it grows back. So any of her other body parts get destroyed, that's that. So I'm like, I'm not trusting the deep to perform my lobotomy.
Yeah, I'm not doing it through the eye either. I'm going through the nose or something.
Yeah, I'm definitely going through the nose. That's that. I mean, I think that's how.
But I mean, I think the whole idea was she wanted to explain it to the deep because he was confused. Yeah, because she was treating him two different ways, and she's like, "Here's why."
Yeah, here's
because I'm two different people.
There's dumb me and there's smart me. Smart me can't stand you.
Yeah,
but dumb me's here for it.
Yeah, let's get to it. Yeah,
let's get down to some dumb me.
I'm loving the Sage character.
Yes,
fantastic. I'm liking this season. MAGA stuff. Not.
It's too much, but they're still a really good show.
I mean, look, it's a good story. It's just lazy writing to me because
I will say
it writes itself.
I can't really think about season 2, but I will say the characters introduced, season 3, bringing in Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy was mwah. He was fantastic.
I wish he was still around, and I wish that Stormfront was still around.
Oh yeah, Stormfront was season. Yes, he was in season. So yeah, every season they have a great character because Stormfront was. The actress who played her.
Stormfront was season 3, right?
No. Because she didn't happen at the same time as Soldier Boy.
What happened in season 3?
Soldier Boy.
Okay, gotcha.
It was, but yeah. So Stormfront was great in season 2, and technically she's not dead, so
Yeah,
she
that's
could
why
come back.
I would like Homelander to go visit her.
Yeah.
And that, you know what we
Maybe
didn't
some way
get?
to
We
heal
didn't get any of the kid, Ryan.
Yeah, which when
He
A
was
Train's
absent
in
this
his
episode.
dad's or in the apartment, I'm like, where's Ryan at?
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously not hanging out with Homelander. And
Yeah.
stuff. So I was just like, I thought actually when A-Tron first got caught, I thought it was going to be Ryan, but instead it was
I feel like this is like Homelander going back to where he was tortured.
Yeah.
I feel like he should have taken Ryan with him.
Yeah.
And be like, look at these people and listen to them admit the things that they did to me. Like, do these people, these humans really deserve your, good times.
But yeah, no, I'm enjoying this season. Like I said, I mean, I do agree with everybody. I agree with that it's lazy writing and it's like almost too much, but there's just everything else. Everything else is just great. The characters and the stuff. All the people who act in this are just great. They're great at playing their stuff. Good stuff.
As always, you can find us on our website, watchinitpod.com. There you can find links to our social media and to email us, watchinitpodcast@gmail.com. Donnell, what else should they do?
Well, like I said, we're doing The Boys right now, but after The Boys, Robert's gonna be gonna take a little trip, and it's just gonna be me and a guest. I haven't figured out who yet. A guest, but if you have
Solo it, Donnell. Solo it.
I'm not soloing it. But if you have any ideas of what movie you want us to cover, go ahead and drop us that. Because it's just, I mean, usually I lean on Robert. Like, what movies should we talk about, Robert?
I can give you a list.
I might add for the list, but I always talk to whoever. I gotta start reaching out to people, figure out who I'm gonna have one as a guest.
So you're just gonna skip Snowpiercer?
I mean,
Are we just gonna double up Snowpiercer when I get back?
I don't know, because my thing is like with a guest. I mean, I'm not going to force them to watch. I mean, it's only one episode, but
but they need the context.
Exactly,
man. They need the context.
I need you to go. I'm gonna whoever our guest.
Have
you watched 3 seasons of Snowpiercer and the movie? No, I'm going to need you to watch all that before you hop on a guest episode.
Look, the first 2 seasons, I'd be like, yeah, get in on that.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
missing out. They get to the 3rd season, they're just gonna hate me.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, why? Why did you make me do this? Anyways, folks, send us any ideas you have for our special guest episode, and give us any ratings, reviews. 5 stars. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.